That's good, that's fantastic.
He knows me well. And many of you will probably know me, but for those of you that don't, yeah, I'm Shelley Henderson. My background is actually in interior design. And while the time has gone very quickly, and you know, I'd like to think it was just a year, it's actually probably closer to 2 years now, that I was in that meeting putting my hand up all the time. And I was just sold the first time I saw it, and I managed to convince myself even more and more through the questions at the end. So what I'm going to share with you, we're going to be covering goals, which is a really critical part of the business, obviously, and a critical part of your lives. And really, I sort of look back over my life, and I've sort of accomplished quite a number of things, I suppose, in lots of different areas. And you know, those have been goals. I don't know if I always set such strategic measures in place to achieving them, but you know, we've all got goals that we can think of in our lives that we've achieved and felt pretty good about. And when I saw this business, going back that 2 years now, I had some very clear goals in mind, and mostly they were that I wanted to have more control over my time, and I certainly wanted to have more money to do the things that I wanted to get done in my lifetime, if I'd be straight to the point. And what I was doing wasn't really going to give me the opportunity to really fulfill that in the really big and exciting way that I wanted to achieve it. Shelley likes to have fun. So, you know, we have a big list of things in our mind, and often as kids we find it really easy to think about the things we want to do, and we don't put limits on them, do we? I mean, I remember being very young and wanting to be an astronaut, not knowing anything about what it would take to become one. I wanted to be a jet fighter pilot. I'm a bit of a thrill seeker, obviously. So what I want you to understand is that when I saw this business, I understood that this was going to help me to achieve my goals. This was definitely the vehicle that was going to help me to do that. I understood it was mass market, so I just had to get my head around what I needed to learn. And I quickly understood through building this business that your goals, the goals that you set for yourself, they're your growing pain, they're your growth. If you don't have goals, you're not growing. So it's really important to have those in place. I've got a few things noted down because I actually thought I had 15 minutes to speak with you, not 10. And so just quickly I sort of want to cover really what goals are. Goals, I believe, as I said, they're your growth in your own life. But I think our goals are going to mean something to us when we put purpose around them. So I think it's really important that we can have goals and you can have dreams, and they can be big and they can be small. I mean, you want to have a variety of big and small goals. And really goals equal experiences, don't they? I mean, actually over here, I put here, our goals change and grow as we do. And when I first started writing down goals, and I was asked to write my goals, I was thinking, oh, well, you know, I love cars, so I wrote down all cars I like, and I wrote down I love clothes, and I wrote down the things I like to buy, and I like to travel, and I want to spend time with my kids doing exciting and fun things. And I wanted to have lots of money coming in, and all those sort of things that were probably a little bit more materialistic, and the quick things that come to your mind first off when you sort of start beginning the practice of thinking about goals again. But as I said, they grow as you do, and in this business you will grow if you're prepared to. I suggest you get prepared to and commit to that, because in this business you grow and you grow and you grow if you're focused on your goals. And if you quit, what you're really doing is you're not quitting so much on just the vehicle that's going to get you your goals, because it will do that. You're quitting on your goals, and you don't want to do that. So I'm going to just start by running through a really good sort of format for really thinking about your goals. And they start with that's a sort of a breakdown of the word SMART, because clearly it's smart for us to have goals in place at any age, in any stage of your life. You don't want to get stuck thinking, oh well, I've grown up now, I'm an adult, that's it, and just start rotting. You want to be growing, it's smart to grow. So when you're thinking about your goals, and I've got the whiteboard marker, you want to be thinking about specific goals. The goals need to be very clear and specific, not just, you know, I'd like to travel. Well, we all like to do that, but when do you want to travel? Where do you want to go? Who do you want to travel with? What are you going to do when you're there? How long are you away for? These need to be clear, defined goals, locations and concepts, and with who. Now, I'm going to turn this S into a dollar sign, and I don't really mean to make it about money, but I do think it's really important that those specific goals have value. You must value them, or you'll quit on them too easily. It's very, very vital that they're precious to you. Even if they're just a small thing that you can associate a good feeling of, oh, I'm going to feel good doing that. I'm going to feel having, you know, that pair of shoes, or I'm going to feel good about having that car, but you're going to feel probably more precious and feel more purpose in having goals that relate around the people you really care about and doing some experiences that are really valuable to you. You also want to make sure that your goals are measurable. You need to be able to clearly measure your goals, setting time frames in place. So measurable. What is that goal going to cost you? What is it going to cost money-wise to take that trip or to buy that thing you want to purchase? What is it going to take for you to be able to attain that in time? Is it going to take you 6 months, a year? What are you actually looking at? So being really clear, you need to be specific. Because remember, when you write your goals down, those goals are out there. It's a bit like a jigsaw. You get the box and you've got the picture, but you've got to make sure that all those pieces that take you a bit of time, and sometimes they're a bit frustrating, to fit into the right places to give you that result. Okay, so you really want to make sure that you can fix the goal and take those steps back to know that they are measurable. It's very important that they are achievable. I don't know why. I was thinking, what would be a non-achievable goal? Probably bungee jumping on the moon probably isn't very achievable. I mean, just make sure that, you know, when you're putting things down, they're physically possible to do. I before E.
It's the other way around.
Is it? I before E, except after, yeah. Thanks, guys. Just as well, it's not a permanent marker. And of course, if we're looking at the word SMART, we need to make sure that they're realistic. And I kind of use that word slightly cautiously, because while it's incredibly important, you want to make sure that you're stretching yourself, that you're creating big, hairy, audacious goals that are really going to make you grow. Maybe your goals are about growing. So make sure that really stretch you. And I sort of equate goals to, if they're experiences and they have purpose, if a goal is an experience, it's something that you do. So if it's going to be something that you do, you're probably going to have to do a lot of things to get to be doing it. You know, you don't just leap into those accomplishments. You've got to move towards them. It takes action. So you need to make sure that they're, that you can do it, that you're setting yourself big challenges that are doable. And it's going to require focus and a challenge in personal growth, which I keep touching on, but it's critical. And I mean, it's whether you're doing this business or anything outside of it. I mean, goals require you to take on a challenge. And it also requires overcoming personal perceived limitations. This is where it's kind of mental exercise, and you're stretching what you might otherwise have thought you couldn't do. A bit like some of the things that we undertook on the team building exercise, when you went that little bit further, and you're going to have an opportunity to do that again today. So remember what you're doing in the physical, you're also exercising that ability in the mental to expand your goals and dreams, make them big, challenge yourself, work hard, like going to the gym and just lifting that little bit more when the muscles are hurting and stinging. Okay, don't be shy to take on change, by the way, really embrace it, get yourself very familiar with that. Become addicted, in fact. Time, your goals need to be time-bound. Everything in life revolves around time. It's just something that we live in. Everything revolves around a date, be it each year, which is great when we get a new start and we're in a new year, so you can define new goals for 2008. And it's always a nice, fresh chance to do some things a little bit differently than you might have done last year or previous years. You know, you've got times bound around birthdays and so on. Trains, buses and aeroplanes are set to schedules, aren't they? They leave at a certain time. So you want to make sure that you're arriving at the accomplishment of your specific goals, your own goals. And that's taking ownership of your life. You own your life when you arrive at your goals, when you set them, or before. Exceed those time limitations. Make them big goals, set yourself realistic time limits, and exceed them and feel really good about that. And that brings me to something here. I want to ask a question before I give you a bit of time to start reflecting on your own goals. How do you feel when you've done what you know you need to do to get you that step closer to your goal? And just think any time when you know you've gone and done something, you knew you had to do it, you put it in your diary, it's going to move you closer, you feel a little bit uncomfortable about it, but you've done it, and actually the result wasn't that bad, you feel really good, and either way, who cares, you did what you knew you needed to do, and it feels really good. Get used to that. Nurture that, really focus on making that an association, a trigger in your mind, go, that feels good, that I did it. And then get to December in 2008 and go, I've actually had a year of that. I heard what Shelley said. She's right. You've got to make sure you get familiar with feeling good about your goals, and then you will make that a new pattern of behaviour in your life, because we've got past patterns of behaviour that we've got to ditch, haven't we? So we need to start getting addicted to that feeling good of having done what we were going to do that day. So based on that, I suggest that you clearly define your goals, make them fun, make them extraordinary, do the things you want to do with people in your life that you want to do those things with. I'm going to suggest that we take a bit of time. How am I going for time, guys?
We've got 15 minutes. 15 minutes.
Oh, we've got 15 minutes for this exercise now?
Yeah.
And night through morning tea.
Sorry?
It can continue into morning tea.
We're going to continue on through, so we're going to bring some morning tea out, so it's a moving through.
Oh, okay, we're going to move through it. Okay,
So
great.
it's
Okay,
moving through.
fantastic. All right, so what we're going to start remembering that we want to make sure that we've got our goals specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, within time frames. And I'm going to pose a challenge to you that was presented to me when I first sat down with Nick, who helped sign me up. He said to me, right, Shelley, go away and write down 200 names of people that you've met. Now that's focusing on your list. And I thought, 200 people, and I went, okay. I figured I could work on it, I figured I could investigate, find names. I don't have to actually know everybody, but I'd probably, start doing that and you can think of new people that you know. The other thing he asked me to do was to write down 101 goals. And I thought, well, the exciting thing about 101 goals is that means there's 101 experiences you are intending to have in your lifetime. Now your goals will change, as I said, you'll add more things to them as you fulfill the goals that you've got on your list. But start somewhere. And remember, these are for you. This is going to be great for you. So write down 101 goals, experiences, things that you'd like to have, things you'd like to do. I'll run through sort of a list of different areas where goals sort of fall into. We're looking at, I can run over these again as you guys are thinking this through, but you might have physical goals, health goals, perhaps some sports things that you want to achieve, financial and business goals, and numerous more goals. I'll tap into that as we start. So I would suggest now that you'll turn around. You're sitting at your desk there with your, I think somewhere in your book series should be on the page where it outlines SMART and the goals list. That page